Hello Year 12 and welcome to Lesson 2. Today we're going to be looking at still infancy, but this time the intellectual, social and emotional development during this time. Okay, at level E we're going to define maturation and norms. Right, maturation and norms. If you're trying at home, pause the video and see if you can define these terms. Right, maturation. The gradual process of becoming physically mature or developed. You can see it comes from the word mature. In this situation, we're talking about an internal body clock which tells the body when to show a certain feature. So an example could be when the baby's first teeth start coming through, or maybe when they fall out a few years later. Okay, these are all examples of maturation. Norms. Average milestones that are expected in all individuals at certain stages. Okay, so we've got a picture of a milestone there. It used to be in the olden days, if you're walking towards a destination, it would show you how far you had until you got there. So you can see if it was 40 miles to London, that would be a milestone, and you have to wait maybe another 10 miles to see the next milestone. So these are important stages. When we're talking about development, we have to say that a physical norm could be that a child starts to walk at about 11, 12, 13 months of age. Okay, a social norm we'll look at later on could be smiling at about 6 months of age. So norm is short for what normally happens, okay? And we can expect these things to happen at certain stages. Okay, so now we're going to look at social development over the infancy period. And you'll notice that from 0 to 6 months, the baby goes through what's called an indiscriminate stage of attachment. If you try to pick up a newborn baby whom you've never picked up before, they're not going to mind, okay? Between 0 and 6 months, they don't mind who picks it up. However, by 7 to 12 months, babies go through the next stage of attachment. It's called a specific attachment. Okay, at this stage, you try to pick up an 8-month-old baby who you've never picked up before, who doesn't know you, you're going to have a different response, okay, crying and all that, because now it's built up an attachment to its parents or carers, okay, a very specific attachment to a very small number of people. Next stage, after about 12 months, you're going to have a multiple stage of attachment. The baby will be feeling quite attached to those people that it sees on a regular basis, yeah, once every week or every couple of weeks. Right, some social norms and emotional norms. At 6 months, a baby will smile, laugh and enjoy contact with others. At 9 to 12 months, they will enjoy simple games, and by 18 months, the infant will show a range of emotions and will be starting to explore their environment. Okay. Now, what you can do is answer these questions based on the information you've just heard. Okay, so for example, the second question, socialization is vital to enable children to understand and learn the social norms of behavior. Give an example of a social norm and explain how we can reinforce this attitude with children at this age. A social norm, smiling at 6 months of age. Explain how to reinforce it. Smile with the child, okay? Model the behavior that you want to see the child do. So that would encourage the child to continue with those activities. Right, now here is our favorite man of health and social care, Jean Piaget. Okay, so you don't have to pronounce it in that French accent. You don't have to be aware how you say it, but you do need to try and spell his name correctly, Piaget. He is the psychologist who just keeps discussing the different stages of development for infants and older. Okay, so in this lesson we're going to be looking at infants, obviously. He's defined this stage of development as sensory motor. Now, in the first 18 months of an infant's life, on average, it will have not developed this thing known as object permanence. That is, if that child sees an object obscured from its view, hidden from its view, it will think that object no longer exists. However, at about 18 months of age, its intellectual development has improved. It now knows that if it sees an object go behind another object, it can look and find that object behind the place it saw it go. Okay, so that's object permanence. It's the realization that physical objects continue to exist even when they are removed from view. Okay, so this is during the sensory motor stage. During this stage, infants are very egocentric. That means that they just think they really exist and everything else revolves around them. Okay. Right, have a go at this question. You can do this in your own time. Lastly, just to summarize, today we have defined maturation and norms. We have described the intellectual, social, and emotional development in infants, and we have explained Piaget's description of the sensory motor stage of intellectual development. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.